interact with you on the topic given to me, that is emotional intelligence. I'm very sure this is not a new topic for most of the teachers in commerce and management, but this is one of the most dynamic and the most required topic for discussion among teachers who have the responsibility of preparing the future leaders, or precisely the managers of the country. At score, I will be taking pride to interact with the fellow colleagues. There are two options. One is, when I am talking to you, take the liberty to raise your objections, make your comments by unmuting your microphone, or otherwise reserve your questions so that at the end of the session we can have a detailed discussion. I'm again and again making it clear to you, the topic that I've chosen is not a very new topic, but it is the most relevant topic that is to be discussed at length and which has to be practiced, that too in the light of the happenings around us. Incidentally, I and you both have opted for teaching profession, that too as commerce teachers and management teachers. We need to prepare a different type of youth who will take the responsibility of molding the future of the economy. For any economy to grow, the most powerful means is the leadership. Knowing there is a popular saying, there are no underdeveloped countries, but there are undermanaged countries. And no ideology, no ism, or no political theory can solve the problem of underdeveloped countries, but only sound leadership and management can solve. In order to prepare sound leaders, when I say sound leaders, leaders with capability, leaders with confidence, leaders with an ability to rise to the occasion, we have to concentrate on molding their personality along with disseminating the course content. The course content is the common for everybody as it is prescribed by either the government or the universities concerned. But along with that, at the end of the program, when they go home, they must go with something to remember, something to practice, something to apply for solving their life-related problems. When I say life-related problems, life is not a watertight compartmentalized component. Life includes profession, social, personal issues that one has to handle. But these days, due to too much of focus on technology and skill and proficiency related to specific jobs, many of our youngsters are lacking the personal skills, the social skills, what we technically call the soft skills. Soft skills cannot be taught inside the class as we teach accounting, statistics, or mathematics, but they have to be developed. It must be inculcated through our interaction, through our presentation, or by modeling ourselves to as a role model or to make our students to imitate us. There is a popular saying, people don't do anything that you say. If you dictate something, they will become reluctant and disobey. And if you do something, they will try to imitate you. That's the popular saying. If you want everybody to be punctual, you need to be punctual. Honesty cannot be compelled on others. Honesty can be spread. To make others to be honest, the person who is talking about it must be honest. Same is the case with leadership. And my focus is on the issue that we are not preparing only graduates, let it be commerce, management, or any other related subject. We are preparing people who are worth of their qualification and who can withstand that ability to handle the crisis that may encounter in their day-to-day life. On that score, I thought it's not a waste of time, even if I speak about emotional intelligence at this point of time. So I take the liberty to interact. If you are not comfortable, if you think there is something different from what I am saying, take the liberty to question me, cross-question me, so that both of us can learn. And learning is restricted to interacting through a screen, electronic device, but it is inevitable these days. But we can make it lively only when we participate. Therefore, emotional intelligence is not an isolated topic these days. Most of the companies, when they hire people for their higher management positions, they look into the personal traits of the individual than the qualification alone. The confidence level, the ability to rise to the occasion, the ability to withstand the emotional outburst. That is the need of the hour. In that context, I thought emotional intelligence is essential. And we being the teachers at the higher education level, when I say higher education, the college education, wherein the participants are in the transition stage of their life, who have passed PUC or +2, and who have just about to cross their teenage, or some of them have just crossed it, and there is a need for a sort of maturity to be acquired. The college students always think that they are grown-ups, they know everything, they are competent to challenge anybody. But despite of that, it is our responsibility to mold them in the direction that they are supposed to go. So that I thought the field that we have chosen is really a challenging field, because education is the deliberate and systematic influence exerted by matured person upon an immature through instruction, discipline, and harmonious development of physical, intellectual, aesthetic, social, and spiritual powers of human beings according to individual and social needs, directed towards the union of education with its creator, the final end. The final end is, when I say creator, what we are teaching and what is expected for them, that should match at the end. An educated person must be different from an uneducated person. A commerce or a management graduate must be different from a non-commerce or a non-management graduate. How can we make it?
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Slides are not moving, sir.
Not changing?
Not changing, sir. No, sir.
Is it?
Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir.
No, I will look into this answer.
ಮೋದಿ ಎಂತೆಂತ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅದ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್
Whether the slides are visible?
Yes, sir. Now
Yes,
it
sir.
is visible, sir. You can move, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is moving, sir. Now
Now
they
it
are
is
moving. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now they are moving, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
We are in the second slide, sir, now.
This is the second slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Education. Can you see education?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
I
you,
was
sir.
about to speak about the profession that we have chosen. Our job is to make a person different from that of others who are not undergone this process. Therefore, here, our objective is to make the all-round development and the drawing out the best in the minds of the students, both in terms of physical and spiritual. That's what Mahatma Gandhi had said. And my opinion is that education is the most powerful transformation can be made. That social transformation can happen only when teaching learning becomes effective and the learners acquire what they deserve and they will achieve the expected outcome of the courses that we are teaching. Commerce and management is basically concerned with preparing industry, business, commerce, or even in the social community issues. They can also be good politicians. But to make it to happen, we need to concentrate on developing their overall personality along with delivering the academic content. To achieve that, a teacher needs to be perfect. A teacher needs to be prepared both mentally and otherwise. Therefore, many a time people think teaching is an easy task. It is as you take it. If you think it is easy, it is an obligation, you can discharge and go. But a teacher's job is not just like any other job of 10 to 5 or a fixed timings. A teacher's job is not even a profession. I don't like to call it even a profession. It's an attitude, personality. It's a life. A teacher throughout his life is going to be a teacher. It is beyond the clock. A teacher has to develop his abilities, his personality, because many a time, more than what he has taught, people learn from what he or she is. So to present ourselves before the students as what we are and to make them to imitate, make them to listen, make them to learn from us, we need to make a proper blend of academic and emotional components. Because teaching itself is a sensitive job. It calls for both emotion and actions. On that score, again, I'm talking about the role of a teacher in the present day. A teacher can make anything that he wishes, but the results may not be direct. Indirectly, the future of the youngsters, the future of the young world on the quality of the teachers and the commitment of these teachers. And it is the teachers who can make a student's life miserable or meaningful. It is the teachers who can make a student to become successful or failure in his life. To do that, first, teachers have to learn lot many things. These days, if I allow you people to speak, there are many things that makes us to feel that it is easy to speak but difficult to practice what you are telling. But it is inevitable. We must have the patience, we must have the commitment, and we must go with a preparedness of mind to start what we are thinking of doing for the community. Because the quality of the community depends on the quality of the teachers. The future of any nation depends on the teachers only. Whether people or not, teachers are those who don't look for anybody's appreciation. They work for their satisfaction. The ultimate satisfaction is an emotional issue. Why I have chosen again emotional intelligence as a topic for presenting before the teachers again is the dedication of an employee to what he or she has chosen and the commitment towards the job and the efforts that the person is going to put and the ultimate satisfaction the person gets ultimately depends on the emotional bent of mind. What type of emotions that we have towards the job that we are doing, towards the people whom we meet every day, towards the future of the people who are looking at us for guidance, for help, and the country that has invested a lot on both ourselves and our students. Today, the country expects a lot from the college teachers because one of the main argument is that college teachers and the university teachers are the well-paid government servants and the well-paid employees at this level. And it is their responsibility to mold the youngsters properly. That could be the reason if a youngster commits a mistake, the first blame will be towards the institution, the teachers, and the community, later on the family. Therefore, I thought the topic chosen is again justified because remember, as teachers, teachers are the real leaders who have to inspire and motivate students inside the classroom. And the students normally don't care what the teacher knows unless they knew that the teacher cares for them. We must create an ambience where our students realize that here is a teacher who cares for us. Unless they think the teacher is caring for them, they will not care for the teacher at first and the subject what we are teaching afterwards. Both the subject and the teacher will become a waste unless we establish confidence on the teacher. That confidence will come only when we develop and demonstrate appropriate emotion in the classroom and in our interaction with the students during their period of study. Day is a challenge. Every day is an experiment with new teachers, new students, new initiatives, new issues and crises. Despite of that, if you need to succeed, if you want to become a successful professional in the field that you have chosen, more than your academic competency, the emotional competency matters a lot because it is the love and the caring that matters in the delivery of what we are doing. Therefore, managing present day classroom calls for extraordinary skills. You can ask me a question, what does it that managing classroom? You may be a very competent teacher, a researcher who has done a lot of experiments and got a lot of awards, that, this and all. If you don't know how to handle the class, you will be a failure. And what is expected of a true teacher these days? The first thing expected from a true teacher, whether you are in the university or in the college or anywhere, first thing is to develop a caring, supportive relationship with and among the students. First thing is to develop caring and supportive relationship between the students and then with the teachers. How will you do that and why it is required? We can comment on that. But the thing is, you have to create an ambience wherein every student will feel that here is somebody who is caring for me, here is something that I can learn, and here there are people who are helpful to me and with whom I can grow. Creating such an ambience is the job of a teacher. Second one is to organize and implement instructions in ways that optimizes students' access to learning. Learning is a process, but the most dynamic process through which the attitude can be altered. You can alter the student's attitude and mentality through proper learning, teaching. Unless the teaching is effective, learning will not happen. To optimize the student's access to learning, teacher has to sometimes rise to the occasion. When I say rising to the occasion, sometimes you have to go down from your level of expectations to reach out to students who cannot be up to the mark to understand what you are telling. There, your emotions and ego should not become an obstacle, should not act as an impediment to build the right type of relationship between the student and the teacher. That is another thing. Here, teachers are expected to use methods that encourage students' engagement with academic tasks, group management. I'm not elaborating on this because knowing fully well, I'm talking to management and commerce teachers. Group management technique means different type of people, but ultimately the objective of each team is to achieve something well determined. Here the objective is to make our students to learn and make them to become responsible citizens, make them to become professionals, make them to become competent to solve their life problems. To do that, you have to work like a team leader. Teacher's job is that of a team leader, and consider the classroom as a team that calls for proper application of emotions and emotional management. Another thing is to promote the development of student social skills and self-regulation. The ultimate objective of education is to make students to be and to be competent to manage the social skills. Social skills are the skills required to lead a comfortable life in the society where we are. Society is again a most dynamic force. In the present day society, however competent you are in the other domain of knowledge, unless you have the ability to interact with the people, ability to communicate with the people, ability to understand their emotions, sentiments, you cannot become a successful person at all. Given this situation, to make them to become business executives, to make them to officers, teachers, or managers of the future, we need to equip them with the proper skills. The most missing skill today is the social skill. Why I am again and again telling this? We are talking too much about digitization, computerization, modernization, artificial intelligence, robotic technology, so on and so forth. But we have forgotten the fact that artificial intelligence cannot be a substitute for human intelligence. And if you neglect that human intelligence, artificial intelligence may be misused. The misuse of technology leads to disasters, like many countries talking in terms of using the bomb for destructive purposes. War is a common thing these days because most of the people are emotionally unstable, emotionally unable to control themselves. When a powerful technology is given to a person who cannot control himself effectively, the destructions will happen. It leads to destructions. Therefore, the present day calls for teaching people how to think about others' welfare, teaching people how to empathize the emotions, feelings, sentiments of others. Education is not just concerned with preparing people to read a book, competent to read the minds of others, what is happening in the minds of others, how people think about an issue that I am thinking. Such a thinking has to be inculcated among the students. For that purpose, we must use appropriate interventions to assist our students to mold their behavior and to solve the behavioral problems, if any. I am without any doubt telling that present day students, a considerable size of the present day students are suffering from social skills and people related skills shortage, because we concentrate too much on the professional technology oriented issues and we don't prepare them to be first as a normal human being, because education today has become something like a factory to produce graduates and people with certificates, not with emotionally prepared citizens of a country. citizens or members of a society. In this situation, I'm taking you back, in addition to what you are teaching, whatever the subject that you teach inside the classroom, you have to help the students to get out of certain difficulties that they may encounter in the course of their study. What are the difficulties students may encounter? I have listed a couple of issues. The first and the most common difficulty every student of any degree, college or university experiences is about motivational difficulties. If you look at the present day happenings around us, the youth, most of them are directionless. Most of them are frustrated, disgusted. Most of them think there is no future and today is the end of their life because of their inability to meet the present day requirements in terms of the financial, educational, technological capabilities. And many a time people will ask a question, is it necessary to do all this? What will I get out of this? What will I get? Am I certain to get a job? Am I certain to become independent in life? These questions are there in front of our students. What's our future? Are we really going to achieve what we are thinking of? Is there hope for our life? Because the hopeless situations are happening around us. Given this situation, how to create hope in the minds of our youngsters is a big challenge. And another thing that we have to understand is many students experience difficulty in adjusting to college life. I'm sure most of you may be from tier 2 cities or from rural colleges. Particularly in rural colleges, you might have noticed there may be intelligent students, but they may suffer from something called inferiority to get adjusted to the college environment. Maybe because of their economic status, social background, or even their poor access to knowledge and language. Many students experience the language problem. And we must not jump into the conclusion that one who is not in a particular language is not at all intelligent. Unfortunately, these days, by looking at the fluency and expression of a person in English, we jump into the conclusion that he or she must be an intelligent child. But not necessary. But inevitably, we have to make these people to get adjusted to the college life. Unless they feel comfortable in the college, their learning cannot be comfortable. It is not only in my class I can make them to be confident. They must be confident in moving around in the campus. If they are comfortable in the campus, they love to come to the campus. Their only presence in the campus will make them to develop access to the source of knowledge, interaction with people, interaction with teachers, their fellow colleagues, etc. Therefore, helping them to adjust to college life is another important issue. Study skills. The third difficulty that the present day students encounter is about study skills. Many people say, sir, how to prepare? Again, it is a sad part of the story that many teachers make them to prepare for the examination. It is inevitable, technically and legally speaking, at the end of the semester, at the end of the year, they are supposed to pass an examination. But the objective of education is not just passing the examination. They must know the subjects prescribed for them. There shall not be shortcut to pass a program. We must see to it that at least once students will go through the entire syllabi prescribed for them. Entire issues related to the prescribed syllabi. That only when both the teacher and the students learn the skill of teaching and learning. followed by that, directions and goals. There is a popular saying in management, a life without an objective is like a travel without a place of destination. And a voyage of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Most of the time, students are directionless. They don't know what to do. Simply, after PUC, they might have come to degree. After degree, they might have joined PG. Why are you doing this? They may not be having an answer at all. It is our objective. It is our commitment as a teacher at the higher education to set them on the right track and to make them to have a direction. If there is a direction, at least they will move to some extent, not necessary that everybody should achieve the end result. Moving towards a proper destination itself is the beginning of success. So that we need to set the directions for our students. In addition to all this, like our students, we do have personal problems. Our personal problems must not act as an obstacle for our professional performance. Same is the case with the students. Ask any student, they quote personal reasons for not attending the class, not doing well in the examination. We must prioritize the personal and professional issues. If we learn not to mix the professional and personal issues, we can teach the same thing to mind. We have to prepare our students. Before I take you further about understanding emotional intelligence, as there is no scope for action and reaction, I am doing it one-way presentation. If anybody would like to make comment about so far what I have presented, you can question, or otherwise I will take you to a brief description of the new generations of students. Any comment from you? Dr. Mamata is thinking of interacting, I believe. Just by looking at your photo, I can make out. You have something to say.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Sir, what I observe is of late we have been witnessing students want to study or student want to just prepare themselves for the next day exam, not for the conceptual knowledge or not to gain that knowledge about the subject or whatever in the sense. So how do we change that attitude of the students?
See, as you rightly said, every day is an examination.
Yeah,
The
but then how do we tell that to students? You said they are directionless. They come to they join MBA also or PG course also. Even then, they do not have any focus in their mind as to what is their future, what is their goals, what are their career plans. Nothing. So how do we direct them to the right path?
This can happen only through proper counseling, personal interaction, and most prominently, making students to the subject and the institution, like the subject and the institution. When I say institution, in psychology or organizational behavior, say, first thing is joining behavior. Joining behavior must be able to lead people. Staying must lead to performing. Performing leads to achievement and identity. That is corporate citizenship. When the student join a particular course, proper introduction, proper orientation, proper preparation to install them is required. It should not be a formality. We must make the student to realize that something will happen to me during this period here. That can happen only when committed teacher, committed institutions work planned program. What is the planned program? I am sure in a class of 60 students, all the 60 may not become with preparation. So 50% of them are there because of the pressure from others. I have experienced, if I ask the students, why did you join this course, they say, why are you asking me? Ask my parents at home. They are the people who made me to sit here. But definitely, there will be a few students who are come with a prepared mind. We must focus their personality, their competence, their expectations as the standard. And we must try to reach out to that. And along with that, teaching is a continuous process. Through punishment, through, what shall I say, appreciation, humiliations, we cannot teach anybody. Only by involvement we can. There must be more of activities to involve students to think about issues other than academics. Issues, I'm telling. What are the issues other than academics? You can make them to think something related to the economy, the society, the technology, politics. When I say politics, somebody may raise their eyebrows. Not necessary. These are the issues that will mold their personality. Therefore, the first thing is, from our side, we must know what we are trying to imbibe. And that will make us to get the result. This is what my experience. Unless we are mentally prepared, we will not use our full potential. And believe me, nobody is a born idiot. This is the society made them. Nobody is lazy. This is what we have created. But to put them into action, first I have to act. From the beginning, I am telling, you must model yourself what you expect others to do. If I am not punctual, how can I expect students to be punctual? If I am not updated, how can I expect my student to be updated? If I am not in a position to quote a couple of latest examples, how can I expect my student to do that? Therefore, there is no quick answer, one word answer for this, but it is a continuous process wherein involvement is the only answer. If we involve, we can make it. Therefore, further to take you on this line, what is your understanding of the present day students? Why do you think students are interested in immediate gratification? Tomorrow's results only. Tomorrow, if the exam is tomorrow, they ask for the questions today. Right? Who created such a scene? It is we. It is. I'm not boasting. In the first class itself, I will tell the students, I'm not preparing you for the examination. And I'm not assuring you that whatever I teach will come for the examination in the form of questions. But I'm sure it will come to your rescue in life and in your profession to be a good manager. If you want to listen to me, you can listen. Otherwise, no. And the students, they are like the clay. If the stone, we have to throw them out. No, they are like the clay. You can mold them. You can make into any type of shapes, provided you have the patience, you have the commitment. Okay, well, let us quickly make an attempt to understand the present day students. Unless you know to whom you are talking to you cannot achieve your purpose. The present generation of students, I have listed a couple of characters. Some of you may agree, may not agree. If you don't agree, you can raise your objection. The present day students suffer from poor interpersonal skills. Their interpersonal skills are less developed. Their graduate students or postgraduate students still behave like kids, kiddish. What my understanding. Sometimes may not be true, because sometimes they project themselves as grown-ups, mature. I know more than you, something like that. But they are kids. Their computer skills are strong, many a time compared to their teachers. When compared to teachers, their computer skills are relatively strong. And this cannot be generalized. Even today, in many rural schools and colleges, the computer facility may be there for namesake. They may not be having hands-on, right? Therefore, their computer skills are strong. They are skeptical and desensitized. When I say desensitized, they are not bothered about anything happening around them. They are not bothered about elections. They are not bothered about some labor problems. They are not bothered about the latest technology. They think, why do we worry about this? How create cricket, only cricket. Football, they don't know. I think I'm reaching you. Followed by this, tasking, no concentration. Sometimes multitasking is required. But all the time, without focus, if you do everything at a time, you will become jack of all. Pardon me? Multitasking and enjoy multiple stimuli. They feel comfortable in challenging others. Present day students, they feel comfortable in challenging others. And they have high expectations. They hold high expectations. After joining the course, they think everything is over. After getting a certificate, they will become the boss of an institution or an industry, which is not true. Followed by that, they negotiate everything. They are good negotiators. If you announce the test, sir, you have it tomorrow. If you give an assignment, give the date, lengthy dates. If you make any announcement, they go for negotiations. These type of students are there with whom you are supposed to deal. And these are the students who represent the people of the world. Man is said to be the most powerful entity on the earth. And without understanding man, we cannot do anything. We have to understand. But understanding is the toughest task because each one is unique, each one is special. Even in our classroom, all the 60 are different and unique. One solution cannot solve their problem. There is no panacea for everybody's problem in one go. We have to understand this. Then what can we do? Understand the different types of people. I'm not going to elaborate, but still, to understand a class, you should understand the outside world from where they are, and vice versa. People are different. There are hostile and aggressive people. There are complainers. There are clans. There are negatives. There are super agreeables. There are people who behave that they know everything. There are balloons. There are indecisive people. There are devil's advocates and scapegoats. Ultimately, it is the scapegoats who become the victims for something that they have not done. Society consists of this type of people. Organizations consist of this type of people. Classrooms consist of this type of students. But you as a teacher has the role to solve the problems of all this. You have to respond and reach out to everybody. How can it be done? You should have the required patience. You should have the required ability. Yes.
Sir, please elaborate on clams and balloons, sir.
Clams are people who take everything light and act like comedians.
Okay.
Clams are those.
Okay.
If you tell them a serious problem, they will make a mockery and joke out of it.
Okay.
And
Balloons?
balloons are those who always believe in praising people, appreciating people, exaggerating people. They exaggerate the things and blow it beyond the size.
Yes.
Clams make it a mockery and take it as a joke. Okay, as I was telling, people are the most important thing, and we cannot do anything without the people, irrespective of the technology that we have. But one thing is certain, people are persuaded by reason, but moved by emotion. Man is a bundle of emotion. Man minus emotion is a robot. But these days we talk too much about robot and artificial intelligence, not the human intelligence and manpower. We must be both persuaded and moved to do the activities. Man is persuaded by reason, but moved by emotion. There must be reason and emotion, then only he will act as you wish. If you want to make the people to work for you, listen to your lecture, look at you, think of you, let there be both reason and emotion. Reason is intelligence and emotion is feeling. I thought of talking to you about emotional intelligence. What is this emotional intelligence? Precisely, I will run through emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the capacity for understanding our own feelings and those of others, for motivating ourselves and for managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationships. Let it be between students and teacher, employee and employer, parents and the student, parents and the children, friends, whoever it is. When you want to manage relations, know how to handle emotions, how to manage emotion. Emotional intelligence is concerned with only two things. One is understand your emotion and understand the emotions of others. Try to balance. If you are able to balance the emotions in others and with yourself, you will be a successful person. Today, success in any field, success in any field depends on three things. One is ability to handle frustrations. Why I am using the word ability to handle frustration? The world always loves the winners, but everybody cannot win. I don't know whether you appreciate or not. We must teach present day students how to accept defeat. We have taught them only to accept the victory, and they will become incompetent when they lose something. That's the reason for the number of depressions, frustrated people, and suicides at the end. And many people are living as dead bodies, living dead bodies, without hopes, without any curiosity. Why it is? It is because of a feeling of missing everything, hopelessness in their mind. Therefore, the first thing is to handle frustration, ability to handle frustration. Manage emotions. Those who can manage emotions can manage the world. Followed by that, manage own social skills. Social skills are skills that are required to be comfortable in the society where we are. It may be the language, it may be the ability to interact, it may be the relationship building, questioning, feedback giving. All these things are part of it. But your social skills will make you to be a fit person. Now the question is, what are these emotions are? I said managing emotions is the most prominent thing. What are these emotions are? Emotions presumed to be hardwired and physiologically distinctive. Physiologically distinctive, but they are a mental state of affairs. Emotions includes joy, happiness, surprise, anxiety, sadness, anger, jealous, disgust, frustration, fear, and love. What is life without all this? Life is full of only these things. If you are competent of handling all these things, your life can be comfortable. Therefore, emotions, emotions are all subjective and based on personal experience. Emotions are psychological episodes. Emotions are connected to your knowledge and actions. Emotions are a state of excitement, both physically and mentally expressed. Emotions are state of excitement, both physically and mentally expressed. Along with this, you have to be intelligent. Psychological part of it, They are the moving part of it, but reasoning part comes with intelligence. Intelligence is concerned with analytical reasoning, verbal skill, spatial skills, attention, memory, judgments. Many a time our education system is focusing only on this part of it, intelligence part of it, forgetting the emotional part. I am the one that there must be equal importance for the emotional side of the mental development of the student along with the mathematical development, verbal development. It is not the memory that matters. What do you remember that matters a lot? Therefore, emotional intelligence is concerned with improving the skill of a person to become a competent individual first, a performer next. Now I am precisely telling you, emotional intelligence is made up of 5 elements. I started my lecture by saying, this is not a new topic I am talking to you. This topic has become popular since 1995 after the publication of a book with the same title, Emotional Intelligence, written by Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman has published this book, and later on, everybody started talking. Hundreds of books have come on this, and now every industry, every practicing manager speaks about it. It's not a new thing for many of us. Different nomenclature. But precisely, what does it include? Emotional intelligence means what? At the first instance, it is made up of 5 points, 5 layers, namely self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, social awareness, and social. As there is no scope for us to interact, I am talking to you and you can raise questions later on at any length. I am happy to interact with you. The first thing is, what does the self-awareness means? Awareness means how much you are aware of yourself, how much you know about you. See, if a student is made to realize why he is there, has joined a course, why he is coming to the college every day, or why he is not coming to the college, that is the beginning of emotional intelligence. If a teacher realizes why I am here as a teacher, what is my job, what I am expected to do, 50% of the problem is solved. See, every philosophy will start with a fundamental question to answer, who am I? Why I am here? See, I am holding you people during this 1 hour. Why we are? Why should we waste? Why should we get connected during this 1 hour or so? First, be reasoning, logical, but with the appropriate question. Emotional intelligence speaks with the first thing, self-awareness. Know yourself, why you are here. What is your existence? Justify your existence by answering the question, how much you know about yourself. In educational sector, when we speak about emotional intelligence, to come across problems related to emotions and emotional intelligence. What are the issues when we need to become emotional, when we are forced to become emotional, when it comes to attendance, writing papers, participating in seminars, solving problems, ethical behavior, when it is concerned, to elaborate, working in teams, thinking in global perspectives, learning throughout the life, appreciation for diversity and diverse perspectives calls for emotion and emotional thinking. At this point of time, we must know why we are here. What are we doing? That why, the question of why we are and what are we starts with defining the concept of self. I'm not going to elaborate, but it is inevitable to say, you must be knowing what is self means. Self is an individual's gestalt perception of himself of his own personality. Carl Rogers developed a theory called self-theory in personality, wherein he speaks about the concept of self. Who are you? The answer for the question, who are you, comes out of your interaction with these different forces like the society, the social values, the beliefs, ability, goals in life. Why are you here? Are we here to earn? What do you want from life? Happiness. What makes you happy? Do you know what makes you happy? What makes you happy? Is it the richness? Is it the money? Is it the relations? Is it the connections? Is it the confidence? What makes you happy? It's $1 million question. Nobody can accurately answer. One who realizes this is a happy man. He will do that. There will not be contradictions. So that first question is, have a clear self-image. Ability to recognize and understand our own moods, emotions, and drives, as well as their impact on others. Believe me, our emotions makes an impact on our relations. Anger, disgust, frustration, desires, sadness, all these things will make an impact on our relationship. This can be manipulated, this can be managed only when we know about ourselves, what I am expecting from these people, what I am doing for these people. The concept of self-awareness includes like self-image. You can ask me a question, what is self-image? Self-image means the picture we have about our own identity, what I think of myself. What I think of myself is made up of 3 different concepts like ideal self, projected self, and the actual self. Ideal self is something that I want to imitate. Projected self is something that I am pretending, acting, showing, and the actual self is what I am out of all this. If there is a gap between these 3, the person and his behavior will become abnormal. Followed by that, self-assessment. Before you assess anybody, make an assessment of yourself. Self-evaluation is the easiest method of knowing where we stand. But how to assess oneself? Be practical, be clear, objective in your assessment. When I'm talking to you, my every word makes me to think whether I'm reaching the audience or not. Because I cannot see everybody's eye movements, everybody's facial expressions, things like that. Self-assessment is the toughest task. Followed by that, self-control. I've been repeatedly telling, one who knows how to control himself can control anybody in the world. But we should know when to control, how to control. If you are able to control your own emotions, when I said emotions, it is the joy, fear, anger. Fear and the anger are the most worst that managed properly. Many a time, all the crises around us are happening because of these 2 things, mismanaged, these 2 things, fear, anger. Okay? Also an emotion. How to control this? That greed leads to many more complications. Fraud is an action influenced by the greed. Why people are like this? Locus of control includes 2 things, internal locus and external locus. Internal locus means believing that the controlling force is inside me. External locus means my life is controlled by someone else. If you believe that everything happens to me because of somebody, we waste our time by blaming others, by looking at others, by pleading others, by requesting others. If you think I am responsible for my life, you will take that self-responsibility. Self-depreciation. Self-depreciation means evaluating and understanding my own value. If you know yourself, what you are perfectly, and you are able to evaluate yourself, needless to think about anybody. That is the objective of education. I recall what Abraham Lincoln said. Abraham Lincoln said, make my son to have pride in his own deeds, even if the whole world calls him mad. I repeat, make my son to have pride in his own deeds, even if the whole world calls him mad. But we are not preparing our students like that. We are making our students to become complainers. Complainers means looking at others to accept us. If others says you are beautiful, if others says you are intelligent, we will say, yes, I am beautiful, I am intelligent. We try to convince others all the time. If everybody becomes a true educated person of self-respect, self-convincing, the crime, the social evils, everything will automatically disappear. Self-awareness is about knowing one's own emotion. It is about understanding your thinking patterns and knowing what thinking pattern you use in certain events. It is also an understanding of your strength and weakness to know what motivates you and what you want to get out of your life. Self-image, I said, your actual image and the ideal image. If there is a mismatch between the actual and the ideal image, then our actions and thinking will mismatch. Self-regulation, as I said, self-regulation is the ability to develop, implement, and flexibly maintain planned behavior in order to achieve our goals. The person who masters himself through self-control and discipline is truly undefeatable. Undefeatable. That's what Buddha said. That means try to control yourself. If your greed is controlled, if your fear is controlled, if your anger is controlled, many things can be controlled in the world. This is what we have to inculcate in our students. This is what first we have to learn ourselves. If we inculcate all this, we can easily manage any situation. Sometimes self-regulation may falter. Please listen to me. Sometimes self-regulation may falter because of failure or deficit at any of these 7 steps. Why do we fail in controlling ourselves? The first thing is receiving irrelevant information. Somebody says you are good, but I am wrong. But I believe what the other people say. Evaluating the information and comparing it to norms. Sometimes we accept something as the norm, we compare it with that. That is what I fulfill all the requirements, that's why I am good. 1 hour I am supposed to teach, 1 hour, that means I did my job well. No, it's not the 1 hour that matters. Triggering change, searching for options, formulating a plan, implementing the plan, and assessing the plan's effectiveness. In all these things, when we fail to regulate ourselves. I'm not elaborating. Just think it over on this. Why do we fail in regulating ourselves? These are the reasons. Self-motivation is always the powerful motivation. If you are doing something, let there be a reason pet to yourself, not to others. Love the thing that you are doing, then anything you are doing will become fruitful, comfortable, and needless to worry. Therefore, the last point out of this 5 I was supposed to tell you is about social skills. Social skills are the skills that are required to be in the society comfortably. These skills includes basic interaction skills. When I say basic interaction skills, starting with communication, body language, facial expressions. How do you to others? That is basic interaction, followed by that team building skills, working with groups, communication skills, and conflict resolution. These are said to be the social skills. Needless to elaborate. This is, look at the fun here. We are teaching only the technology related, digitally related issues, and the human interactions are missing. When there is no proper human interaction, whatever the teaching that we have done will become waste. This is what I wanted to convey. At the end of the session, if anybody asks a question, what did he taught? What was the topic he was discussing? It is emotional intelligence. What does it mean? It is the ability to identify your feelings and needs through self-awareness. It is the ability to identify your feelings and needs through self-awareness. It is the ability to read others' feelings and to listen to others with empathy. It is the ability to know how to express your feelings with words, body language, and language. It is the ability to choose emotions and when to communicate emotions appropriately. Containing emotion and expressing emotion. Process and let go of emotions when it is necessary. To give ourselves time to feel and to enjoy the depth of ourselves through feelings. It is the ability to wisely and follow gracefully. It is the ability to honor our own limits. We have our own limits, as well as to celebrate our talents. It is the ability to give and receive love. I just made an attempt to interact with you on these emotion related issues because I love emotions. Man is a bundle of emotion. Unless we respect emotion, respect the word itself comes with emotion only. Otherwise, we cannot respect anybody. I thought these are the issues that are to be dealt in detail with the students and with the teachers, because ultimately it is the individual who matters, not his profession, not his possession. It is the person who matters. The ultimate objective of education is to build overall personality, a true personality. That is what the intention that made me to speak to you on all these issues. Now it is open for questions. Take the liberty to